is good.
Player Zeus. Oh, he's here.
All right, let's get this done. Everyone who was in there is good. So, before we fire any rockets, let's quickly go over the two different types of armor which you don't want to, well, fuck with, really. So, on my right, who can tell me what type of armor this is specifically? Not the actual... I mean, it's a slat cage, but what is this type of armor? Anyone know?
It's like
anti-heat.
Spaced armor.
Spaced armor is what I'm looking for, and really, the name just comes from the term where the armor is spaced out around the target. It is meant to be able to take on additional ordnance, usually HE and HEAT types of ammunition, and so that armor takes the damage instead of the actual vehicle, meaning the vehicle can take more more hits in combat. And I can assume by that definition you know where not to shoot at this vehicle, right? You don't want to hit that type of armor. You want to hit above it where that turret is, or hit it from an elevated position so you can ignore the spaced armor. Now, the armor on my left, it's a Bradley, but anyone want to tell me what type of armor it has?
Reactive armor.
There you go. All right, so reactive armor is basically there to prevent penetration of armor, as well as fuck, what's the term? But basically specify. God damn it, I forget the term, but it's basically to stop a rocket from penetrating and killing the crew inside, or breaching the armor itself. So if you hit a place multiple times, it'll do less damage than it should compared to not having the reactive armor. So you'd want to try to hit it anywhere where it doesn't have the armor, which is a bit tough for this Bradley. However, if I were to turn it around like that, you'd see that it has none of it on its ass, where I'm going to be perfectly honest, is about, if you can, 90% of the time, you want to hit the fucking vehicle in the ass, because that's where its engine block is, and that's going to almost always guarantee you a kill unless you're using an HE rocket. So, with that out of the way, one other thing I'll say is, if you're in a bind, aim for the turret, because even an HE rocket in some situations can disable the gun, and if you disable the gun on any vehicle, well, it's just a really expensive APC at that point. So, let's get into some rockets. So I got 5 sections put out for you. Again, the flags represent 50 meters. If you come over here, it is an arsenal. So all of these different rocket launchers and a few more. What I have here is all of the single-shot rocket launchers. So I'm going to break these into a few subcategories. Again, to interact with this, just scroll wheel on arsenal. We've got some Blue 4, Op 4, and some other rocket launchers I decided to throw in here. The top 3, your M136 and your M72A7. Your M72A is basically a law, and then you have your 136s. These are the ones that when you take them out, you are going to have to hit the R button to actually prime it to get your sights out. So, since we have some people who haven't taken basic yet, and just to quickly clarify, to fire a rocket launcher, you're going to want to get sighted on your target, get it primed, then you're going to want to yell clear back blast, so you indicate to everyone around you that you are firing. Make sure you are on yelling, by the way, when you do that, and also make sure your earplugs are in. You don't want to, get tetanus from hearing. So then you just yell clear back blast, and then when you are about to fire, you yell rocket, 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 and then fire down range. And if you don't do that, well, someone's going to get back blasted behind you, and they're going to be injured, and, well, you're going to create a liability for your squad. So.
Would you like to demonstrate that on a...
No, we do that in basic. That's why I'm just doing a quick rundown. So, the other types of rocket launchers in here, for example, the RPG-26, and, let's see, the other one, the RSHG-2, they work a bit differently. If we take these out, they are already primed. You don't have to hit the R button or anything, but if you scope in, you'll notice that you've got a bit of a dash and the scope looks all wonky. If you want, you can hit page up and use the sights that way. Or what I prefer to do is if you've memorized those numbers, then you can instead hit the left It's either a slash or a backslash, but I use it on my numpad. It's on the top next to a numlock, and then you can hit page up and adjust the sights. You'll also notice in the top right that number will change and be nice and tell you what those what your range is, and you can adjust your target through there. So let's see, the first one, if I can open the arsenal back up real quick. The RPG 26 is good for up to 250 meters. The RSHG is up to 350 meters. Those numbers, the 5, 10, 15, that's, in tenths. So, it really means 50, 100, 150, and so on. Other rocket launchers in here I just want to brief over because they're used a bit more often these days. We have the RBR M80, which it's pretty simple. I mean, it tells you in a nice little holographic the sight lines if you just use page up and page down. And the last one, the RPG 75, I mean, again, it has the sight lines that tell you where to fire if you adjust your scope. And then once in a while we also use Panzerschrecks. Those are really just point and shoot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get behind this Bradley so I don't get backblasted, but I'm going to put some targets down range at various ranges, and feel free to shoot at them when I give you the ready. Jesus Christ, the frickin' stream bot. So what I'm going to do is, let's, for our targets today, let's do some Russian things. Nah, we'll do Islamic State.
Alright. It was something far away.
So we got that. Do a BMP2. Yeah, guys, I'll clear you to fire. I got set them to invincible so I don't have to change the cook-off every time. But these targets are going to be at 50, 100, and 150 meters respectively. So when you're ready, make sure your back blast is clear and go ahead and fire. Make sure your earbuds are in too, because otherwise your ears are going to hurt.
Clear back off. Rocket.
That was not a
Rocket,
rocket.
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 Alright, I only saw a single miss out of all of that. Hold fire. I'm going to now put it to the 200, 250, and 300 meter ranges.
Yeah, I just got hit by backfast. Well,
Yeah, I'll be giving ace heals, don't worry. So try to hit a target out at, 200, 250, 300. Clear your back blasts and get ready to go. Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we?
Back blast. Rocket, rocket.
That one was short. That was a good hit. Miss. Hit.
Hey, you forgot to mention the peephole cover on the M1 free thingy.
What?
As in, there's an attachment for it, so you can take the peephole off and it's actually more useful.
What, Malin?
They are indestructible.
There is, on the M136, if you use it, you can see now there's a peephole.
Yep.
There is a attachment can be, I think it's where the lasers normally go, to remove that, and you can actually see more of the sight.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's a
The
thing.
more you know. It's not on the training docket I have, so.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
Sorry, that's why.
Basically, there's an
what
attachment
did
you can get.
Alright, hold on, let me get everyone. Alright, guys, ceasefire. Come back. So, let's all come back and grab a 136. Malin has something that I never knew.
Yeah, you don't actually have it in the arsenal because you only have those things selected, so...
Fair.
But yeah, so basically in the rail attachments section, when you have the weapon selected, there will be a peephole cover remover in there. If you use that, you can then see more of the scope, and it is infinitely more useful, because you can actually see what you're
I
shooting
think
at.
it's an item. But we don't have that here, so we can't demonstrate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So just for future, again, some Zeuses use it. I'm not sure if I do. Have to check my
You don't.
templates.
You really don't. It's annoying.
Yeah, well, okay, live with it. Alright, so let's come to the next section over here, our RPGs. Now again, the point with these single-shot rocket launchers is they're really just for emergencies, like if you're in CQB or CQC settings, and you have a tank kind of roll up on your block, or you're in a forest and a vehicle comes right up to you, you know, within, I want to say, 200 meters, that's where your short-range AT like that is the most effective. So, with this arsenal, I'd like everyone to look at first the RPG 32. Got two different versions. This is a vanilla weapon, but we'll be using in Op4 rotation depending on what they pick. There are two different types of rockets for it. There is the HE and the actual HEAT. HE, of course, is for infantry. The HEAT is for vehicles, as expected. Again, just make sure you go to your backpack tab. We all have carry-all, so we can all have the, you know, have ammo in our backpack so we can reload. But let me clarify what I said. RPG-42 rocket is your HEAT. That's for killing Vics. And then your HE RPG-42 rocket is for infantry. So, this one, the mil dot's really simple. You have 0.5 on the top, which is, you know, your 50 meters, and it goes up to 500 meters. And from there, I assume you can figure out the rest. The other rocket launcher we have is the MAAWS. If we go to the Mark 1, it gives you mil dots all the way up to a click. But what I like using is the MAAWS Mark 1, because if you look at something and hit the T key, it'll give you a laser range on that red mil dot. So as you can see, if you laze these vehicles, you'll see that one is about roughly 204 meters, 250 meters, and 300 respectively. So
These are vanilla as well.
yeah, these are both vanilla rocket launchers. We prefer to use these over things like the SMAW and stuff from RHS, simply because they look nicer, they're official assets, and they work pretty well even against modded vehicles. So I'm going to keep those targets up range over there, and I'm going to come over to the side. Feel free to start engaging.
Shot for your back blast.
Clear back blast.
Yes.
Rocket, rocket.
Red rocket rocket.
Someone just
Rocket.
spooked me in the leg.
Your back left. Oh, you're getting fucked, Cash. Far back.
All right, hold fire, hold fire. Pass that down the line, hold fire, come back to me. Let me AC everybody.
Hold fire.
Copy. Hold fire.
All right, everyone go grab some HE shells. We're going to play with some small clusters of targets. I was thinking about using civilians, but I don't want to piss people off, so I'm thinking,
Custodial.
No, it's just you can normally using those you can give us.
Yeah, I tried to use Ace of Clears as well.
all right. So, downrange, we have a bunch of clusters of unarmed CSAT infantry. I think you can figure out what I want you to do, so fire when ready.
Clear back blast.
Rocket.
Back blast clear. Rocket, rocket. Oh, they got fucked.
I can't even see.
Yeah, I can see it.
Ooh.
You guys are still living.
Like that fucking
Clear back blast firing.
Rocket.
video of a Syrian hitting like 5 guys with tow rockets.
Clear back blast.
This is always, because I want to encourage this a bit more, because I've seen HE. All right, pass it down the line. Stop and bring it back in over here. Bring it back in.
Hold fire, bring it in over to the right.
Ceasefire.
Text left.
All right, so here's the deal, guys. One thing I want to point out is, if you didn't notice, the smoke gets very, very heavy with HE rockets. So make sure, you know, you don't conceal something as you fire, because, you know, you don't want to conceal a vehicle that'll then pull up and kill everybody. But other than that, let's move down to... Oh, God, this. All right, we got to talk about RPGs. And this is going to be even more so useful because well, we're going into optimal rotation. Make sure you grab an RPG and you grab a PGO-7V3 scope. And if you look in your backpack, there is a metric shit ton of different types of rockets. Now, I have a little cheat sheet which I will pass on to all of you. And for the stream, that's in the missions command. So give me 1 second. I'm going to tab out. Special thanks to Ruling Commander for giving me this one because I had one, but his is better in my opinion. It's bigger. All right, so we're gonna make this simple. So everyone open that up and take a look at it. So on the top, you have your bore sight. That's where the rocket's going to go at 10 meters. So that's for your short range stuff. And this RPG has a shit ton of different types of rockets. First off, you have your OG-7 frag, which goes down those 3 middle mil-dot lines. It's effective up to 300 meters. That is for killing your infantry and very soft targets. I'll do an ace heal in a second. On the right, you have your PG-7VL, which is your improved heat. That is for taking lightly armored targets. You have your PG-7V on the left. That is for taking, again, lightly armored targets or taking out turrets. Notice how the 7V can go up to 500 meters, while your 7VL can go up to about 300 meters. So note your different effective ranges. And then your TBG and PG-7VRs. Your thermobaric is good against both infantry and heavier assets as well. But I would prefer to have the PG-7VR, the tandem rockets, which are the really big ones. Those can do a lot of damage to tanks and other vehicles of the sort. So again, this scope looks really intimidating. It was to me at first, but as long as you have that cheat sheet and you memorize it, then you can pretty much kill everything. So I'm gonna put
I recommend downloading the image.
Okay. You want to speak up? I'm sorry.
No, download the image.
Download damage.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean. But I'm gonna put some more targets down. And I'll put it between 100 and 300 meters, and I'll let you go. But give me a second. Let me ace heal.
Pressure wave. So in Afghanistan, if there's people in caves and stuff like that, they used to build up with pressure waves inside the cave.
Look at how much blood there is here.
So maybe
Fun fact.
Anti-personnel more so than anti-armor.
Yes.
It's a very, very big boom. It'll kill just about everything.
On this one.
Sounds juicy, right?
And honestly, I would use if I was given the chance to.
That's for Toyota.
Yeah, I know.
An insurgent tactical.
All right, you got targets up to 100 to 300 meters. Have at it.
Clear back, blast. Clear back, blast.
Oh my god.
I love how everyone went for the technical, the easy target. Come on, guys.
It's the bright red Toyota.
Clear back, blast.
It's got
Rocket.
So I'm gonna give them quite a bit of time to practice this one. What unit is this? This is my unit. TSB.
Rocket.
Oh yeah, and then the one rocket that doesn't get covered is the air burst. That's also basically anti-infantry.
That's a fun one.
Clear back, blast.
That's a nasty one, to be honest. It's a fuel air.
Rocket.
Good hit on that 1113.
That's why.
Not a boom booms.
I am.
Alright, keep firing, guys. I'm going to give you another few minutes, because this is where, you got to play with all the different rocket types. Get used to that scope, because it is an absolute pain in the ass.
Rocket.
Liru.
I'll keep doing ace heals gradually.
Liru.
What?
Can you explain the thermobaric and tandem heat ones at the bottom? Is it just the 1, 5,
Those-
2 that they go really slow? Or?
All you have to know is they go really slow, they drop really quickly, that's why you have to adjust your sight so much, and they're used for killing tanks. At least the tandem one is. I forget about the thermobaric.
For
We were just talking about that.
Thermal barracks used for buildings. There you go.
Clear back left.
That one
Rocket,
went
rocket,
left.
rocket.
I'm gonna go for that fucking.
It's always beautiful. Because I used to teach in the 501st.
Oh,
That's the one.
Well, one of you fucked up.
That close every.
Thermal barrack, too close.
So, you know, I like to bring the AT skills over to TSB, because why not?
Healing.
Use the exclamation point join command or the Discord command.
There's a rocket that's fired 15 meters in front of us.
Rocket, rocket.
Clear
Yeah,
back left.
Thermal barrack provides the big... Basically, thermal barrack, as I said, it's the fuck everything rocket. I mean, I like to get people in the rhythm of saying clear backblast and rocket rocket, Jimbo. It's my personal preference, but as they, you know, mature as their own players, they'll figure out their own shit.
You done?
I hope this doesn't fucking kill anyone.
Alright, we all done?
No,
Rocket,
one more.
rocket.
Alright, I'll give you guys 60 more seconds. Just have fun.
Rocket, rocket.
All thermal barracks.
Steady.
More barracks.
I'm gonna stand on top of a single shot launcher. Yeah, that's true.
Rocket, rocket.
Oh, actually, I hit that fucking.
Guys, the building's not part of the range.
It is now.
Rocket,
We can
rocket.
make it part of
Rocket,
the
rocket. Oh, no. Oh, God. Wrong rocket.
God damn it, I just said not to fire at the building.
We are taking this as a challenge. I bet you I could hit it.
Somebody else see that rabbit walking across the range?
Rabbits are client side. Oh, I missed.
Use the rabbit.
It's strange. There's no shooting.
There's no more building. Now you can't shoot at it.
Yeah!
Well, there's more.
Alright, let's bring it together. Let's bring it together.
Ceasefire.
Alright, ceasefire, guys. Now let's talk about my personal favorite. Your big long-range fuck you rocket launchers. So, there's 3. 2 of them are in the same category, and 1 is a bit more free fire. So, to quickly talk about that, let's go to the Metis M, also called the Voruta in Vanilla. Basically, this is a freaking carryable Metis, and it's a bastard. So, you've got your... Let me look in the backpack. It has both HEAT and HE. As I've said, HEAT is for your tanks, HE is for your infantry, and then this one... You can literally just scope in and free fire. If you hit T, it gives you a laser range, and it shoots a nice little twirly rocket thingamajig that just kills everybody. So, I'll give you a minute to shoot that one. Have fun. What? Max range for this, I'd say, is about 1.5 click before it self-dets.
Clear back left.
You went up and around that.
Sorry. Rocket, rocket.
Which rocket has the most satisfying sound? I'm not gonna lie, this one sounds pretty sexy. It sounds a lot like the MAAWS, which you know has a nice thunk. But I also love the satisfying sound of the Javelin.
Oh, I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
All right, ceasefire, 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 ceasefire. So, 2 things I want to bring. Hey, ceasefire, 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 ceasefire.
Ceasefire, ceasefire.
I know, we all can't hear. So, that's one thing. These rocket launchers are loud. So, even with earplugs, you're going to get tetanus. But one more thing, too, to note is it has 2 different fire modes you can change with F. Your top-down and your direct. All 3 of these rocket launchers, which we'll go over, has that. So, now to talk about another small outlier. This one's concerning the Titan Compat. Just to say that it has AP rockets, which are basically HE armor personnel, and these you can free fire as well. Same with the Voruta. But now let's talk about my favorite weapon system, which is the big boy, aka the Javelin. So this one works like the Titan Compat. You have a big ass scope, and you have a bunch of targets downrange. Now to fire it, you have to deliberately put it in thermal vision to hit N. Also, if you hit F, you'll notice that it changes from top down to regular. And then to fire at it, the default key to hold is tab, and it will lock onto a vehicle. You'll hear a ringing, and then a different ringing with some lines to say it's locked, and then clear backblast, rocket, rocket. goes up in the air and schwacks the bastard. So I'm gonna move these targets a bit more down range, and we'll commence firing.
Oh god.
What's the max range of a javelin?
Yes.
A lot.
I've said something that's 5 clicks.
Down and direct.
I'm not, yeah, like, TSB have hit things from the range, I don't know what the max range we've hit it as, but I can assure you, like, this thing will take down helicopters flying away as much as your render distance will go. As long as they don't flare the javelin, then it'll kill it.
The night is gone. Thank fuck. Could not hear anything. It was actually hurting my ears in real life.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed we don't use this more. It's such an awesome weapon.
I would like to say I can actually lock on to a rabbit. Like,
Yeah,
thermally
you can.
lock on.
Yeah, you can lock on to anything with this thing. It's ridiculous.
Alright, it's clear to fire on the rabbit.
No, you're not clear to fire on the rabbit.
Danger close, danger close.
Look at that, I already got a kill in the Zeus interface.
God damn
Here's the
it,
thing,
Liru.
it can also lock onto infantry.
Yeah, it can lock on to anything with that thermal scope. It's ridiculous. But anyway, call down the line, guys. Fire it well. Have fun.
Alright, well, backblast clear. Rocket, rocket, rocket. Boop.
That is just sexy to watch.
Oh, that's a fast moving missile.
Yeah, these things move fast, guys. They will annihilate. I love how it comes
Can't
out.
get more ammo for this thing because these people. Oh god.
The rockets are so big.
One problem.
Check back pass, don't shoot this.
Clear back, lads. Rocket, rocket,
Clear,
rocket.
clear. Oh, that's cool as fuck. I didn't even
Yeah,
see
one
it.
thing I want to pass down, guys. With Ace, the Titan, it's essentially a Javelin. Like, every mechanic with the Javelin works with the Titan with AT missiles as well, but you can free fire AP missiles.
So always take the light.
I mean, the Javelin has a sexier missile coming out effect.
Backblast clear.
Alright,
rocket,
I'm-
rocket.
Most of that shit's dead.
Somebody just shoot a rabbit.
Missile. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do the same thing with the Titans.
And they're just as beautiful.
Does it change?
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Automation was Titan people did more than one couple of rockets.
I think it's
Excuse
F.
me.
Not for me, it's not working. I think it's one of the weird. Hold on.
It should be
No, it doesn't change in the interface. On the site.
So, are you unable to fire it while it's just the regular color vision mode?
It doesn't work.
Bomb the infantry guy down there so we can lock onto him with the fucking
Yes.
Oh my god. Alright, since we have a little bit of time, I'll put some infantry down there.
These poor men are about to get murked.
Make them vipers.
There you go. It's a bunch of Islamic State engineer dudes with bombs. Go have fun.
Doop. And a...
Backblast clear. Rocket, rocket,
they're all
rocket. And they're just gone. Oh, they're firing.
Yeah, what do you think? They'd let you shoot them and not fire back? I mean, they may have Lee Enfields, but...
That was all they're down.
Rocket, damn it, come on. Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Come on, you have, like, millions of dollars of equipment. You telling me you can't kill a bunch of dirt farmers?
Oh god.
Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Rocket launcher.
So, the point I want to make here is you probably don't want to engage infantry because they're clearly kicking our ass. So I'm going to delete all that.
We aren't shooting enough bullets. We didn't bring enough javelins.
We have millions of dollars of the wrong.
You literally have a box filled with javelins. Alright, fuck it. Let's go to our last module right here, which is our AA. So Stinger, Igla, there's like 3 other versions of this thing from like 5 other mods we use. I mean, they all pretty much work the same. You're going to grab one of these, you're going to point it at a helicopter, hit the T key, hear a ringing, and then when you hear a different ringing and you see a different symbol, then you let loose and kill the damn thing. But they can flare, these rockets, so it's not always going to be effective. You can also use Titans to shoot down, or excuse me, Javelins to shoot down aircrafts by the same method we, already went over. But, this is just the AA. So Igla, Stinger, it doesn't matter. What?
What key is it to target with Stinger?
T.
T, okay.
See, I've never had to hit a button. I've just heard the beeping immediately.
Yeah, it's a different kind of beeping. You do have to hit the button, otherwise it would just miss.
So it is the Titan compact version in the arsenal there, so that's able to be used as AA as well.
In a pinch, can be.
Yeah.
Alright, so these are gonna come like back to back to back, so you just do whatever.
Thought I saw a seagull. Shoot those things down.
No. Choppers take a second. There we go. Alright, so you're gonna start coming from your left, so feel free. Remember, that's not the only one that's gonna come by, so.
It's fine, right? Straight back flash.
Rocket.
These things can flare them off.
There's more of them.
Clear back, West.
I hope that guy's coming to us.
They're unarmed, so they can't even do anything.
I don't care about my black blast. The guy behind me is not my problem.
Easy as that. Stainer, Igla, you name it. I mean, this puppy will shoot anything down, but of course, in the field, they'll probably be armed, and they'll probably try to kill you.
You haven't put the normal Titan in here, by the way. You haven't with
Huh?
Titan in the arsenal.
Oh, whoops. Well, it behaves the same exact way, so. This thing, anyway. Literally, same exact way, you just hit the T key, it locks. Easy as that.
It just automatically locks on.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer to hit the T key, some automatically lock on, but, you do you. Alright, that's literally it. I mean, that's all the different types of AT we use. These specialized ones only take like 30 minutes to an hour unless you're doing medic training, in which case, yeah, it takes fuck all, but hope you learned something. That's all I got.
Medic training takes fuck all.
Medic training takes forever if you're with Excel.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly.
So yeah, that's all I got, guys. Stay here for a second. I'm gonna take a snippet and get this over to some clerk dude. Yeah.
IT5 now. Cool.
No.
Okay then.
Oh, he broke his heart.
We have the
He's got a rock in his butt.
Alright, gonna kill the server now. So yeah, hope you learned something. Otherwise,
Dare kill us.
have fun learning in the field. Don't die.
Well, that was informative.
Ow.
Don't shoot your
There's
shit
a
off
lightning
at the
bolt.
end, guys. Come on. BRB. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna just do stuff and relax. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day and or night, and we'll be back tomorrow for Vietnam ops. So yeah, good luck. Have fun. Now again, next stop is Vietnam tomorrow at 5. So EST, 5 p.m. EST. So take care.